Dean Carnage-Carney, high on the bank. Woo! Making all that work pay off right now, but how's he going to handle the killer crossover? Over that jump, no problem for Dean Carnage-Carney or Jonathan Castro. Getting right to the crease. Wow.
You've posted today a couple hours ago with the Koenigsegg being sort of a bit stuck in the snow. That must have been fun.
Dude, that was wild. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. And it's the only Koenigsegg I know in America that's actually been out on the street driving like that. So it's pretty cool, you know.
Nah, awesome. Well, again, thank you for joining. I appreciate that. It means a lot. Obviously, that you could have have a bit of free time to obviously answer a few questions. But yeah, sure. if you're happy to start, I've literally got about 10 questions for you. We'll literally just gonna free flow it. If you're happy with that, I'll do a bit of editing. Probably the episode will come out sometime before Christmas. And then yeah, we go from there. Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
Legend. Cool. So when did the whole obviously the love and passion for drifting started for you, Dean? Where did it sort of all began?
1 second.
That's all right.
For me, it started nearly 20 years ago now, actually. Back then, there was a drift event held called D1 Drift Series IRL, and my brother brought me up to it. He's about 7 years older than me. And we went up to the first event in 2004 in a little place in Ireland called Rose Green in County Tipperary.
Oh, wow.
And I saw the sport then. And that's where I met James Dean also for the first time. And just fell in love with it then. So I went back and they held an annual event. So 2004, then 2005, I went back and I drove for the first time then, and just hook, line, and sinker ever since then.
That's pretty cool. I actually I saw you a few years ago because you were at the Goodwood Festival.
Yep.
You were with the older Viper, the one with the massive spoiler. I remember it was raining that day as well.
I'll show it you right now. I showed you. It's actually in the middle of getting a rebuild right now.
Oh my god! Wow.
Yeah.
Nice. That's a bit of history right there, I tell you. Oh my god.
Yeah. So we're just trying to bring it back to life. It's kind of sat in the shop for the last kind of 3 years or so. Just, I know, it's became a parts car for everything else around it, you know.
Oh, cool. Right, so let me talk about your current sort of Drift Viper, because I know you've changed. I've seen all the videos, you know, I've seen the sort of the DD part when obviously everything sort of came to life and everything, right? So how did the whole process obviously happen? Because you must have sort of made your mind up and being like, you know what, I need something different, I need to change a bit, or how did that sort of all come to life?
Yeah, it kind of shoots back to when I was 8 years old. We were on holiday in Spain at my parents, and we landed back in Dublin at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I was asleep on the back seat because we live about 3 hours outside of Dublin, and I was just asleep on the back seat in my mom's arms, and my dad got close down to Waterford, and there was this auto dealer down there called Auto Bolins. They used to always have kind of like what we would have considered unusual cars at the time, like they'd have the Ferrari there, a Lamborghini, that kind of. And he stopped at like 4 o'clock in the morning. He woke me up, and there was a red Gen 2 Viper in there on display in there. And that was my first kind of point of visually seeing a Viper in person. It's always been in mind ever since then. So I then made the transition over to the US to drive in 2009. And I drove for a little team in Seattle called Intech Racing. And then after one season, Dodge had a factory team which was running Samuel Hubinette also at the time. And they had a driver. And I'm not really sure the backstory on it, but there was a fallout between the team and the driver.
Okay.
So the Viper for the 2011 season that was contracted to drive in the series, and they had no driver for it. So that's kind of just what came about.
Okay.
So yeah, so the first time I ever drove it was pulling up acts on the streets of Long Beach.
That's pretty cool. In terms of obviously your previous Viper, and please clear this claim up, was that the most powerful drift car obviously in the world at the time?
It was at the time. Still to this day, I think it's still the most powerful pro car in the world. Chris Forsberg has a 4-seater Ultimaniac, is what they call it. It's like a drift taxi or whatever.
Yeah.
That would be 1,600 or whatever, but I don't know about that.
So within your a very sort of long career, you with drifting, with events going, have you ever had like a scary moment that you can share with us? Anything that was sort of like really like close, or you know, something that you were like, oh shit, I should have done that?
Oh, like I think with anyone that does like extreme or action sports or whatever you want to call it, fear is not exactly a factor in it. The biggest fear I have is probably around October to February every year of can we find enough finances to actually go back and do it next year. You know, that's my biggest fear.
Okay. So you have a current sponsor, it's Hyper NFT, isn't it? Yeah.
2-year contract with them, so we're starting into the second year in January. Actually became very, very good friends with the owner of the company. He has an amazing hypercar collection and supercar, and been getting to enjoy some of the cars that like I traditionally wouldn't have been very interested. You know, I've always been kind of into S chassis, that kind of stuff. So it kind of opened up this new like space in automotive that I never really played around in that much before, but god damn, man, fucking hypercars are cool.
Yeah, I saw you at Monterey Car Week, obviously when the videos were posted and you were driving some incredible cars. I know that you're in that Chiron, and I'll be like, wow, that must have been quite the experience just driving just normally in the streets of Earth, like crazy.
So I've never gone to Monterey Car Week until this year. It's always been like, I know, on the bucket list, but there's always been a conflict every year of other things that we're doing. So this year, to do the first Monterey Car Week for me, and I drove a Bugatti Pure Sport all week. It was a pretty nice start to my
Nah, that's awesome. So how is your S15 currently doing? I was actually going to ask you about that. It's sort of about your dream garage. How's that? Is that all what I can find?
I've had a couple of S15s over the years. I haven't owned one for about 7 years now, but I've always had a fascination with them. I think it's one of the few like true gems, timeless classic cars. Like I don't know, I think there's the NSX and FDRX7, 32 GTR, S15. That's kind of the 4 cars I see as the timeless Japanese classics. And to me, it's kind of like an evolution of my childhood drifting, if you know what I mean. I was driving S14s and 13s, but could never afford to track an S15 because they were just so expensive back then, you know.
Yeah. Well,
now, like they've never been more expensive than they are right now. It's just money now is more attainable than it was 15 years ago.
yeah, exactly that. And to be fair, I was sort of looking at them here in the UK, what the prices are, and they've gone up. Some of them skyrocketed, literally from £35,000 till about, I've seen some for 75, 80 grand with about 20,000 miles on the clock. But like you said, they literally are a timeless classic. Like the way it looks, the way it actually performs, the way it sounds, like it's just incredible, isn't it? Like I would take that car over anything. Yeah, like
I'm a massive fan of it. And the plan with this car, originally I bought it like I was going to make it a drift car. Not that we had any commitment to drive it anywhere, but I've always wanted to build one as a drift car. And I bought it, and it is the cleanest chassis I've ever seen in my life, and I just can't actually justify cutting it apart with an angle grinder.
Moving on to Dean Carnage's dream garage. So let's say if you were to have 5 cars, right, in your dream garage, what would they be?
It's kind of changed a little bit over the years, but after like I said, I was never really into hypercars and stuff. having to spend a decent amount of time with the Bugatti Chiron's, I think it is the best car ever built. Like, period at the end. There's no better car than it. It does everything. As in, like, it's super luxurious. It's the most powerful car I've ever driven on the street. It pulls like a train. It looks astonishing. It is super reliable. And it's just like, if I ever had like $100 million, that would be my day for sure. But for me, it would be S15, a Viper, Bugatti Chiron, 911 GT2 RS probably, and the 4 car. I don't really know. Like, I love cars, but that's 4 in my garage for sure. And probably 5th car would be a F450 truck.
Nice.
Ford.
Yeah. You got to hold those cars with something, don't you? Get a nice trailer hooked up to it. There you go. So what is sort of the future? What is the future for Dean and everything that you sort of going on with Formula Drifts? Have you got sort of like a plan? So what's the sort of like the 2023 looking? Can you give us a little bit of an insight on that, or are you keeping that sort of top secret?
So we're going to make an announcement about exactly what the plans are for next year, early January, of exactly what we're doing. But yes, Formula Drift is on the cards. We're going to try come back and actually do some more stuff in Europe. I just don't know how much we're able to commit to at the moment, but that is absolutely a plan for me. Plan on being back at Goodwood Festival Speed this year, and we're going to focus a decent amount of energy actually on the YouTube channel. So we started the YouTube channel 3 months ago now, and it's been like definitely a lot of work, a lot more work than I gave it credit for, honestly. But it's something I'm enjoying actually building. That's still in the realm of the passion I'm interested in cars, obviously, right? Yeah. But it's like building something completely different than I've ever built actually before. I've never been a tech type of person. I've always been into working with my hands. That was it. Yeah. So trying to learn and educate myself about, I don't know, algorithms and click-through rates and all this stuff is it's fascinating, honestly. And I give probably 4 hours every night just researching it, you know.
Yeah, no, I will say for the months that you launched the YouTube channel, because I was actually going to talk about that, you are currently sitting on about 54,000 subs in the space of those few months. So it's an incredible achievement what you guys have delivered. Obviously, I know you've got a massive team, obviously that works for you. Obviously, you got Mark who's editing all the videos for you. Still, I hope.
We actually on the way back from Spring Mountain at the moment from editing a video, but we have Mark and Dallas on the media aspect of it, then Jose and Dustin in the shop, Chad's the truck driver, and then I have a lady in the office. Then that's what we have. So it's like it's a relatively small team, but like it's also a relatively big team every Friday when you have to pay them all.
Oh my god, that's awesome. So I suppose with your team and how everything is sort of going with your busy schedule, are you planning to do any sort of any like YouTube collaborations with anyone else? I know you've done Alex Choi and a few other people, but have you got sort of on anyone bigger, anyone sort of like massive you want to do like a sort of few films with, like videos?
Yeah, like I'm not opposed to doing collabs with people, but I'm not actively out actually hunting them down, if you know what I mean. Yeah. The thing is, like, it was our buddies for a long time, and that was not really planned as a collab. I was just taking care of a car build for him, and it just became a series of videos out of that. But I'm sure we'll do something with other people in the space. What I want to do first is I want to build our core audience and what we are as a channel before we start like chasing our things, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I think it's key building the stable sort of audience there, and then sort of like, you know, building it, like advancing what you're doing and how you're doing it. But yeah, no, again, well done on the YouTube channel, mate. I'm literally watching it every single time you post a new video. I'm like, what is this guy up to again? And it's absolutely mental. Love it.
Yeah, our plan is to kind of get to 100,000 subs, hopefully before 50 videos is our plan, and kind of have a really good understanding of what our space is and what the demographic is and what we're able to deliver and what I feel comfortable heading to. Because actually, like I said, it's become a lot bigger commitment than I originally gave it credit for, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, must be definite. So Dean, just for everyone obviously who's going to be watching this video, can you just give all the sort of links and when people can find you, obviously what platforms and where you currently are?
Yeah, so I'm probably most active on my Instagram is Dean Carnage, Dean Carnage on Twitter, Dean Carnage Carney on Facebook, and then the YouTube channel is Carnage, just Karnage. And that's it really, man. Other than that, I'm kind of a tech dinosaur. I just do the simple stuff.
But with the team that you got behind you, you can just literally concentrate on driving, drifting the hell out of things on the streets of LA or on the racetrack. And then as long as the people are recording it, you're all good, my man.
Yeah, like that's always the theory. It's like any business. You're like, oh yeah, I'll employ someone to do X, Y, and Z. But like, I'm a control freak by nature, so like I have to have my fingers in everything that we're doing and know everything that's happening. Probably, I'll be honest, it's my biggest fault, but it's just my personality. That's the way I am.
Yeah, you must be a little bit of a perfectionist as well, because you like your things specific, don't you? You like to be sure 100% that everything is sort of done, dusted, like that last tight like bolt is there, like everything is, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a hyper perfectionist. The boys leave the shop every night probably around 8:30 or 9 o'clock, and I stay here usually till about 2 in the morning, just like howling over everything that they've done, checking it, treble checking it, and unfortunately.
Yeah, I suppose it's got to be done if you want to be safe out there on the roads and things like that. You want to make sure everything is done and dusted on you correctly. So no. Absolutely. Good man. Obviously, my plan is sort of for next year to sort of make my way to SoCal, if it obviously will allow me to. Wanted to obviously see where you like sort of drifting, or maybe see the shop if that would be a possibility. That would be quite awesome, actually. Are you sort of
absolutely?
Oh, perfect.
Our shop is obviously not open to customers. It's just a private shop. So I do not advertise our location. We never shoot content on the outside of the shop, so no one's able to say any of the landmarks or anything like that.
Yeah.
But we've always got people in the car industry that are house knit hands are involved with us in some way. There's always somebody here. There's always something happening here. So.
Well, I hopefully look forward to seeing that next year. If obviously your time will allow me, but that'll be awesome. Obviously, just shoot around some cars and things like that.
Absolutely, if you get a chance, you should definitely make it out here. It's probably, I would consider SoCal the supercar central of the world. Every corner there's I don't know, an Aventador or a Ferrari, or there's something everywhere here. It's pretty cool, and the one thing about it is it kind of makes you numb to it, that you don't really appreciate the period of time that we're in, and how crazy all these cars are, and how short-lived it's going to be. Because 10 years time, I'm sure they're going to make all the restrictions on registering them, the cost of gas, everything else so much more insane than it already is, that all these cars will start slowly dying off and just becoming shop art,
Yeah.
So for now, for me, this is the place I want to be, because obviously I'm a car person and I love it. I just fucking eat, sleep, breathe it. So I think this is probably the best place on the planet if we're into those kind of cars.
No, definite. Have you actually seen that in a couple of years' time. Obviously, you've seen it with McLaren actually as well. They obviously have gone to a hybrid engine now, don't they? So actually, what you've actually said now, the time is now to enjoy those cars, because everyone keeps saying, like, especially here in the UK, 2030, they're going to stop selling all the petrol cars and things, and probably going to be the same in sunny SoCal, you know, to try to obviously minimize as everyone's driving Teslas and things like that. So yeah, you are correct. This is like now the time to obviously enjoy it, get a nice V8, V10, and enjoy the crap out of it.
Absolutely, and like I think we're at that, like, I don't know, every 100 years there's like a changeover in technology, and you go from steam engines into coal and gas, and then into petrol, and diesel evolved, and now it's just going to be the electric, soulless, horrible fucking era that I have no idea.
Ed Bolian said to me when I was doing the interview, and I've asked him some similar question. He said to me, electric car is like one of those rubble vacs, you know, that you literally is just there to do a job and that's it. There is no enjoyment whatsoever.
Oh, it is absolutely, like, it is 100% an appliance. That's what I've always called them. It's like a washing machine, a tumble dryer, a washer. Like plug it in and it works. And when it's out of battery, you plug it back in, and it's X years time when I know when the batteries, expired or past the special, you throw away the car and you get another one, you know. And yeah. I have no. We are all going to have to adapt and become part of that. But man, there's nothing better. I like in the morning firing up a car and smelling the petrol, and I love it.
Oh, good man. I appreciate everything, and I hope hopefully I'll see you sort of in sunny SoCal sometime next year, mate. All right.
Absolutely, dude. If not, we'll catch you at Goodwood Festival Speed.
Definite, my man. Thank you again, and have a good one. All right.
Absolutely, dude.
Gene Carney, the Oracle lights shining on the side of that 86. Yo, Castro!
I did it, I'm telling them grace. Ask me how I'm living, I'm telling them great. Ask me how I did it, I'm telling them great.